I didn't want to go to work, I didn't want to get out of bed. I could just feel myself slipping into a place that was very dark and that I maybe didn't want to go. Hi, I'm Dan Spragg and I'm here to talk about mental health for It's Gone Viral.
So we're here to talk about mental health. I'd really love to talk to you about your journey. And I know that you've, in the last 12 months, shot to TikTok fame. What was happening in your life at that point?
I was happily married, 2 children, nice business, nice house. From an outsider's point of view or looking in, it would be deemed the perfect life. I am no longer with my wife. We divorced a couple of years back now. And the last kind of 12 months of the marriage, we were both very unhappy. But to the outside world, they couldn't really see that there was any issues, as a lot of people keep their kind of that kind of thing private. And one day we just decided that it was not to be anymore. It didn't end on bad terms, no animosity, and we still talk to this day. I spent the majority of my life with that one person, had a family, gone through a lot of things. So glad it didn't end on bad terms, and for the children's sake as well. Obviously we can still talk. But for the last 12 months of that relationship, I wasn't in a good headspace. I don't think that my ex-wife was either. It all came to a head one day and I just left.
And what happened then?
I went off the rails. A 30-year-old bloke who's now got his own little 2 up, 2 down, can have his friends round. He's got no one to answer to as such. He's got more disposable income. And I feel like I was probably reliving my 18 to 25-year-old me, but when I'm 30. So I not missed out, but hadn't had the option to be able to go out partying every night of the week with my friends, not a care in the world, rolling into the house at 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning, not coming home at all. And I feel like when I got to have that bit of freedom, I probably went off the rails for a good 6, 7, 8 months of drinking 3, 4 times a week, having the lads round all the time, which is fun for the first couple of weeks. It's great, it's enjoyable, it's fresh, it's new. You've never had the freedom like this before. Then it became a bit of a chore. Oh, I've got to go out again, or the boys want to go out again. And I turned in from the guy making the plans and texting everybody, we're going out tonight, because I'm on my own. I've just come out of a marriage and I want to go out. Respect to my friends for maybe seeing that I needed somebody and just coming out with me for the sake of coming out with me. But then it switched and they were the ones saying, oh, we're going out tonight, Dan, are you coming? And it's, oh no, I'm busy. I wasn't busy. I'm living in the house on my own with no girlfriend. My children are at their mum's. And I almost turned into a bit of a couch potato. I didn't cook in my house for 7 months. It was takeaway, takeaway, takeaway. Neglecting myself effectively. Shall I have a shower today? No, we'll have a shower tomorrow. And then I became more unhappy and more unhappy and more unhappy. And I thought, oh, I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to get out of bed. I could just feel myself slipping into a place that was very dark and that I maybe didn't want to go. So I reached out and got some help. Went to the doctors, they signed me off work for a couple of weeks, gave me some medication. And you keep telling yourself, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm fine. And the reality is you're not okay, you just don't want to admit that to yourself because you're this strong, independent bloke. It got to a point where I had to say I'm not okay. And then that leads us up to the point where I met my current partner.
Let's go back a second, because obviously you've been in this relationship for 12 years.
Yeah.
You amicably decide it's not the right thing for either of you.
Yeah.
And so there is perhaps an automatic assumption that you would, like you say, enjoy your freedom. How were you feeling internally at this point? When you get to the point where you're like, actually, I don't want to go out. What was going on for you? And how you talk about slipping down a slippery slope. What was the period of time that happened over?
My mental health state was taking an absolute battering. I didn't want to speak to anybody. I didn't want to see anybody. I just wanted to be in my own world. Curtains closed, didn't want any daylight coming in. Feels weird saying it, sounds weird saying it, but I almost felt safe in my own little house, doors locked, curtains drawn, in the dark, Netflix, Mackies, and that was me. I wasn't happy. It was just the only thing I knew how to do at the time, because I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to communicate with anybody. I just wanted to be left alone on my own.
What would you say to anyone that might be listening to this that recognises some of the stuff that you're talking about?
It's your wake-up call, effectively. Sitting in dark rooms, a lot of junk food. I mean, junk food doesn't help your mental state anyway. If you're kind of pushing plans off, if you're not interacting with your friends and your family as much, if you physically don't want to see your friends and family, not just talk to them, you don't want to see them, you're maybe going into a bit of a dark hole.
Let's lift the mood. And you've suddenly got all of this tension. You're getting trolled.
Yep.
Positive messages as well?
The positive messages outweigh the negative messages 100 times over, which I'm so grateful for. The amount of support that I've had since starting my platforms has been phenomenal. Absolutely. I've made some friends for life. Some people I've met on TikTok, I feel like I am closer with than maybe people I've known my whole life.
What advice would you give as a parent to someone who has children on TikTok and are using TikTok?
So personally, I know the App Store says 13 plus recommendation for TikTok. I wouldn't let my children have TikTok until they were maybe 16, and I would still monitor it then, because there are people on there targeting youngsters. I think if you're going to have your child on the app at maybe 13, 14, I would make sure that you as a parent run that account. You as a parent decide what content they upload and what is deemed acceptable for a 12, 13 or 14-year-old to upload. I would also, as a parent, decide who follows you and who you follow back, because there's some horror stories on TikTok and other, not just TikTok, many social, I mean, it's even gone into Roblox. My children, you play Roblox, and there's been stories on there of predators effectively contacting these young kids, posing as other 12, 13-year-old kids, even on apps like Roblox and games like Roblox. So definitely, if you are a parent, take control of the account. Do not let your kid run riot on it, because there's some nasty people on there.
Obviously, our mental health is one part of our physical health. How do you make sure that physically you're in a good place?
Eating healthy. I'm very lucky that Chloe likes to cook. As I said, before I met Chloe, it was takeaway, 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 takeaway. Through laziness and didn't want to go to the shops. As I said, I didn't want to leave the house. So it was just easy to click a couple of buttons and someone just drops it off at the house. I'm very lucky that Chloe likes cooking, and she makes sure that I have my veg. And, you know, I've got a bit of a Red Bull habit, which I need to kick, but we've got to be addicted to something, and Red Bull is mine. But yeah, I mean, the gym, I walk to the gym every day, spend an hour there, bit of a swim, and I walk back, and she actually makes sure I go. So when she gets up to leave for work, she'll make sure I'm up. She'll take me to the gym and make me walk back. Because if I was left to my own devices, I probably would lie in bed in the mornings until maybe 9, 10, 11 o'clock. So yeah, keeping your body in the right shape as well is as important as your mind. So eating healthy, get to the gym, and yeah, she helps me a lot with that.
You've obviously got some great routines in place, and this really exciting phase of your life has happened during a global pandemic.
Yep.
And actually a challenging time for a lot of people. What has been the flip side of lockdown for you, and how have you dealt with that? Yeah,
because I am a very social person. Having that interaction with other people taken away from you, I found very difficult. Chloe is a key worker, so she was still working. She works in the financial industry, so she was going to work every day, even through the whole lockdown period. I was left at home on my own. And the way I dealt with that was by going live on the social media platforms, because I felt like I wasn't alone. I felt like I'm with my followers, I'm with people. So yeah, having the social interaction taken away through lockdown was really bad for me, especially in the motor industry. You're around people all the time, every day. So I'm very used to that social contact and meeting new people, which I love. And to have that just taken away for the best part of 12 months was a bit of a shock to the system as well. No children around either, which was weird, because we didn't have the kids over during the pandemic. Because Chloe's a key worker, we couldn't have the kids over, and then Chloe goes to work, and Chloe could pick them up at work, come home, give it to the kids, go home, and you know, that's not ideal. So I was on my own for a lot of it, which it was great, because it gave me time to focus on my social media platform, and I was able to be in peace as it was at home and concentrate on the videos. But yeah, definitely one of the biggest downside was not being able to see my family, my friends. I'm very close to my parents and my brother, and not being able to see them. I saw them at Christmas through the window, and that was heartbreaking, because we're a real close family. That whole sitting around the table, having a turkey and spending Christmas together. First time in 33 years that hasn't happened. And waving at me mum and dad through the window on Christmas or Christmas Eve. It's terrible, you know? So yeah, that was the biggest kind of downside to lockdown to me, was no human interaction. That's why I went live so much on my phone, so I felt like I had someone, you know?
If you've been affected by anything that you've heard in this series, there are people that you can talk to. See the top comment for the relevant organisations that you can reach out to.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Kevin Hart.
Hi, my name's Eric Stonestreet.
Hi, I'm Margot. I'm Journey.
I'm James McAvoy.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe.
I'm Rebel Wilson.
I'm Jeremy Clarkson.
I'm going to be translating some Scottish tweets for It's Gone Viral.
On It's Gone Viral.
Ooh, on It's Gone Viral.